Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Need for Speed Unbound for, well, one of the big ones. It's the Koenigsegg Regera that we're going to be customizing, upgrading, and racing today. I know it's been nerfed somewhat in the most recent update, but I believe it's still one of, if not the best S Plus car. So let's get on to some modifications. So, we all already know what the Koenigsegg Regera is, so let's get straight into the customization. First of all, taking a look at the body kits before going and probably changing the parts individually. So, from standard, it already looks pretty insane, if we're being honest. So, there's not a lot, well, that I would want to do to this, but it's Need for Speed. We kind of have to do something, as we can't in other games. So, straight off with Speed Hunters, which is essentially a chassis mount wing and a couple of other bits. The other Speed Hunters is kind of a more top speed design. So it's kind of like attack and top speed, or whatever they call it with the Yesco. So we've got those, and then we've got the Alchemist with whatever those are supposed to be on the back. So there we go. Those are the kits, which again I probably won't do. I'll do a kind of mixture of things, starting at the front with front bumpers. Oh wow. Okay, I was not expecting to be able to remove a front bumper on a Koenigsegg, but that's an option. Then we have fin things, a huge blade at the front, whatever that's supposed to be. That, which is kind of cool, and I'm very tempted to go for the cut bumper. Should we put that on for now? Let's go with it. Let's go mad. Then we can, of course, have a huge splitter. Because why not? Wait, you can still put can on? Okay, you can, but they don't show up. Headlights, nothing we can do there other than tint them, which I'll come back to. Hoods, obviously the standard one. We've got that with the vents on the arches. I actually think the standard one looks the best, although that's kind of insane. Just to change it up a bit, let's do that then. I don't usually change wing mirrors because I think they look ridiculous, but this already has pretty crazy mirrors, so I think something might work on here. No, you know what? They're actually madder than any of the options, so I'm going to leave that. Is there anything we can know? There's no wide body on this. Okay, interesting. Don't really know what I expected. So we can add a little flick there, or let's go with the Koenigsegg ones. Wheels I'll probably leave because they're already pretty insane. Tail lights. I mean, sure, there's some we can change there, just for a bit of something a bit different. Spoilers, there's that, which I think's horrendous. I don't really want to lose the active aero either. That actually fills in the wing. That's interesting. You don't even have the panel gaps anymore. There's that, which is like top speed version of the Yesco again. I quite like that with the fins, actually. I'm not one for massive wings, so I think I'm going to go with that. I'm trying to keep this semi-realistic. Again, we could go for the bumper delete if we want to be entirely insane. Then we can actually see the exhausts, because for those who don't know, that central pipe isn't actually an exhaust as such. I mean, it's a pipe that exhausts things, but it's not the exhaust system. These kind of blades that are upright are Akrapovic exhausts, I believe. So, yeah, that kind of exposes the exhaust system. I quite like that. Again, I always say this, I love that they've had to model all of this in case you take the bumper off. I might go with that, because it's very unusual that we see that on supercars as an option. I'm just going to do it just to be mad. That was me saying I'm going to keep it semi-standard-ish, and I'm removing all of the bumpers. Can we put a diffuser? Isn't an option. I don't think it was anyway. Right, exhausts. Oh, wow. The shame is I really like those like upright blades that they've put in there, which is how they used to do it on some really old cars. But then that with the exhaust system on show is incredible. It's just a question of which exhaust tips we put on it. There's the gold ones. Are there any that are like titanium? No. feel like we have to go with the Speed Hunter's gold ones then. It's a shame to lose the kind of upright blades, but that looks incredible, I think. Trunk lid, what can we do up here? Oh, you can put little side vents in, or slightly more subtle side vents. I mean, sure, more vents is more good, right? And then I think that's basically all of the options. Quite mad. There's not quite a wide body, but you can do bumper deletes, which I was not expecting on a hypercar. And I kind of had to go with it to go mad, as it's Need for Speed and as that is a new feature in this game. I haven't put a spoiler on, which I tend not to do. I think it kind of looks cleaner lines without. But it's kind of mad in some ways and not so mad in other areas. I want to keep the active aero. I love these flicks that Koenigsegg do. But I think for the visual stuff, apart from paint and wheels and lights and things, that is everything. I'll come back and do the plate as well once I've chosen a colour. So I feel like it should probably be a really bright gloss colour, either orange or, if we move it along a bit, like a really bright green, a bit like the kind of original CC8 colours had some greens and oranges. I feel like that's something a bit different. You don't often see that on modern Koenigsegg's, at least. Or there's like a red kind of colour. I think, though, although I love the green as a kind of throwback to the old Koenigsegg's, but I think the orange, I had one in a really bright orange on Horizon 4 as well. I feel like that just works. So let's go with that. And it's the first time for a while that I've gone for a gloss colour rather than a metal fleck, just because I feel like really bright on this car works. Especially with that insane bumper delete and exhaust system. Right, there we go. So I've quickly painted the calipers orange, and I've also discovered if you paint the wheels, they remain with a carbon fibre weave. So I'm tempted to go for a slightly brighter grey so that we can see it a bit better. I think that's quite cool, actually. Let's put some slicker tyres on to finish it off. I am, of course, keeping the standard rims, because, well, they look like that, basically. They're already incredible. Why would I change them? And finally, some underglow. I guess we go with... That's actually really cool. Or Solar Storm, but I feel like just the plain orange works really well. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, well, with all of the visuals and vanity effects and everything out of the way, shall we get on to the performance? Interestingly, there's no engine swaps, okay? I don't really know what I expected from that, because obviously that's going to make it worse. So, then basically it's just a matter of maxing it. I mean, it's already 400 plus, so it might be there's not really anything we can do. Twin turbos drops the top speed. Can put on better nitro system. Ah, suspension, there we go. Road, I suppose. Then we can tune it more to handling and it won't slide about as much. Although I presume it handles pretty well anyway. We can do brakes and tyres, of course. Oh, that makes it worse. What's equipped then? Super. So elite tyres... Oh, I think it's because they're super... Oh no, they are road tyres. So why do elites make it worse? I want grip tyres, I think, rather than street tyres. There's no options there. Can put in a better diff. Then we can tune it all the way to handling. Auxiliary, I always put near miss and draft nitro. Okay, so let's put this all the way to handling. Turn the sensitivity down. Downforce high, which will affect the top speed, but I would rather have the stability, I think. 2.7 naught to 60. Okay, so it's actually slower than it was. I've done something wrong there, I think, but I like my cars to be really stable, and, well, the Koenigsegg fully maxed out for speed was OP before, although they decided to nerf this and not the Ferrari you could put in B-Class for some reason. But anyway, I do need to quickly sort that plate out, but otherwise, I think it's good to go. And yeah, slightly tuned towards handling will make it maybe slightly less OP, but more stable, so I'm less likely to crash, which is probably a good thing. Let's sort that plate out, though. So, here it is. The finished Koenigsegg, with, of course, the egg on the number plate. Doesn't feel like it accelerates very well, actually. Once it's going, though... the speed is incredible. So I know on top speed, it was already slower than the Bugatti. But on general stability and acceleration, it was supposed to be better. Oh, look at that. Would you believe that timing? Somebody's setting up an S Plus event. Time to try racing in an actual OP and fast car. Oh, wow, it's so stable. It is so stable. Okay, so I'm against an F40, a 918, and you'll never guess what the other car is. Oh. That's weird. In the menu, it was showing as a Koenigsegg and a 918 that I was going to be against. Then when I joined, there's an F40 and a 918, and I think there's still a Koenigsegg, and then there isn't. Okay. Well, that was going to be quite interesting to see how I performed against somebody in the same car, I thought. Because otherwise, I think this is just going to be ridiculously OP, and I'm going to win. Sorry, guys. I've just realised there appears to be no game audio, so I do apologise about that. I'll see if I can sort it for the next race. I don't know what's happened. Right then, game audio is back. As you've probably heard. I honestly don't know what happened, because I was recording yesterday using the same audio output device, so who knows? So one thing you won't have seen when I was customizing this car is me applying the horn, because I will have edited it out due to the lack of game audio at that point, which should have made it not make sense. So here is that horn. Oh, it's twitching everywhere. Other streaming services are available. Oh, God. Well, I appear to be last. I think that's the finish. Well, I've managed to lose to 2 other cars in a Koenigsegg. Thank you, Need for Speed Physics. Not that it really matters if I win this one, I still win the speed list, which should be easily doable in a car like this. Not sure the purple hairstyle goes with the orange, actually. But there we go, we're into the lead, so as long as I don't mess it up, we should hopefully be good this time. And yeah, it's been fun with the Koenigsegg actually, although, yeah, it is OP, so I'll probably avoid using it in racing. But part of the reason I may or may not have cheated the money in the completion of this game is because I don't really enjoy the racing in it, 100%, or the grind it takes in the racing to actually unlock stuff. So yeah. We have access to all the cars now, so do let me know what you'd like to see next. Potentially I should look at the Bugatti to see how it feels in comparison to this, because that's the other super fast car. But yeah, anything else new or interesting, I'll potentially like to customise, have a bit of a play around with, because I do find that quite fun. It's just kind of the grind of racing I don't enjoy. So yeah, do let me know if there's any cars you'd like to see, potentially. Otherwise, yeah, things like the Chiron, which I may have called a Veyron at some point. Or some of the new to the Need for Speed cars, I will be taking a look at soon. I mean, we have access to everything now, so we can have a play around. It is incredible, actually. I know I spun out once, but it's incredible how stable this car is compared to most things in Need for Speed. I need to stop pulling the handbrake. I kind of do that if I panic that I'm missing a corner. Anyway. The Koenigsegg, everybody. They nerfed it, but it's still insanely fast. And I think that's a good note to end this video, taking a very first look at the Koenigsegg Regera here on Need for Speed Unbound on. So thank you very much for watching. Do let me know which cars you'd potentially like me to take a look at next, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.